August 2012. Mr. Speaker, Sir, I move the motion of thanks to the Governor for this address to the legislature. Mention has been made in the address about cyclone and famine in some districts. In this connection, I would like to point out that for many years we have had famines and cyclones in some part of the country. So far as our state is concerned, we have had famine either on account of little rain or sometimes too much of it. In spite of our best efforts, we find that the resources for meeting such conditions are no longer available, and we do not know how we are going to solve these problems if famines and cyclones continue. Today, we have to take into account what has happened in the past 3 or 4 years. Though the government have done much, it has always been felt to be very little. But I think with the experience that the government have in the past, it should be possible for them to go into the question of famine and the possible help that they have to render in future as quickly as possible. I wish to point out that some machinery should be constituted so that the conditions created by famines during the last 4 or 5 years may be studies, and it may be decided as to what can be done to give relief to the people as early as possible. I turn into the problem of agriculture. In our country, we should give the greatest attention to agriculture. Whatever may be the size of our population, food has got to be produced. So far as our state is concerned, we have to identify agricultural operations so that we may be able to grow much more than what we are doing now. If we adopt scientific methods of agriculture and use better manure, I think that it will be possible to increase production. It will be good if production committee are formed in every village. They may see how best we can improve agriculture. The government may help them to promote the sale of improved seeds and better manure. If the government interference is reduced and the people are helped to help themselves, it will create the necessary enthusiasm for development. So far as irrigation projects are concerned, at present no new irrigation projects are taken up, and work on the existing projects is being slowed down. In my opinion, slowing down any irrigation project on the ground of want of finance is not sound policy. The greatest economy can be affected by completing the work so that the fields may be irrigated and production increased. I request that the irrigation schemes may be completed as early as possible, even by borrowing money if necessary. So far as electricity schemes are concerned, the government are trying to manage with the limited resources available. Whatever be our view of a welfare state, we must understand that unless we have the necessary resources, we cannot make much progress. There is a general feeling that the resources of a government are unlimited. If it is understood that the resources of the government have to come from the people, it will reduce the demand on the government to take up this scheme or that. At the same time, the interests of no region should be neglected. Minor irrigation schemes should be taken up wherever possible. After attaining independence, we have seen great development taking place in the country. Of course, we desire more progress, but we have achieved so much progress in spite of all difficulties. Letter from Kumaran Publishers, New Delhi to Messrs. Jack and Company, Chennai. Dear Sirs, it will be a great thing if you can save a lot by reducing your office expenses. For this purpose, we have brought out a publication entitled Scientific Office Management. It will tell you how you can avoid waste in office expenses. We may tell you that the book is the result of a long research made by the author for many years. He is now really regarded as an authority on office management. We are glad to tell you that the book is a unique one of its kind. In the first instance, it was published as a textbook for schools and colleges, but as there was great demand, it has now been revised so as to meet the requirements of office managers. It deals with the problems of office management and gives sound advice on how to meet them. It has not left out anything which should be said, and at the same time nothing has been said which is useless for the purpose. As a matter of fact, the book will be a valuable guide to office managers and secretaries. Whatever be your line of business or problem, you are sure to profit by it. Please fill in the enclosed order form and send it to us. We shall be glad to send you the book by return of post. Yours faithfully. February 2012. Sealed tenders are invited by the Registrar, Anna University of Technology, Coimbatore, for the supply of answer booklets. Tender documents may be obtained from his office on payment of Rs 1000 by means of demand draft payable at Coimbatore in favor of the Registrar from 5th to 20th August 2011 on all working days during office hours. Completed tenders will be received up to 3 p.m. on 21st August and will be opened at 4 p.m. on the same day in the presence of the tenderers or their authorized representatives. The Registrar reserves the right to accept or reject any tender without giving any reason. Draft tender notice. Tamil Nadu Forest Plantation Corporation Limited, Tiruchirappalli, requires Chief Accounts Officer. The candidate should be a graduate, preferably in commerce. He should be a chartered accountant. Degree in law will be a desirable additional qualification. He should have experience of 10 years in reputed companies. Scale of pay is Rs 15,000 to 40,000 with a grade pay of Rs 6,000. The candidate should be below 45 years of age. He should appear for interview at his own cost. Applications giving a resume of qualifications and experience together with a recent passport size photograph should reach Managing Director of the corporation on or before 10th December 2011. Draft advertisement. The 10th Annual General Meeting of the Lasco Steels Limited will be held at the registered office of the company at Racecourse, Coimbatore on Monday, the 26th September 2011 at 12 noon to transact the following business, namely adoption of profit and loss account for the year ended 30th June 2011 and the balance sheet as on that date, election of directors in place of retiring directors, and appointment of auditor. A member may appoint a proxy to attend and vote instead of himself. Draft notice of meeting to be issued by the director in charge. A 5-year-old girl died after she was hit by the school bus door soon after she got down from the bus near a house in Alandur. She was a kindergarten student of a school in Adambakam. She took the school bus home as usual after classes. She got down from the bus and her father was waiting on the opposite side to take her to their house. Even before the front door of the bus was closed, the driver started the bus. The door hit the girl. She fell down and was critically injured. Her father was witness to the accident. The girl was given first aid and soon rushed to a hospital where she died. The traffic police have registered a case and have arrested the bus driver. Prepare an eyewitness account of the accident. February 2012. Reply to the discussion on the Entertainment Tax Amendment Bill, the Finance Minister said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I did not expect so much of opposition to this simple bill. Many members have not spoken rightly on the main points of the bill, but have spoken on the entire financial position of the state. I want to point out at the outset that it is not as if this tax was brought all of a sudden without any notice to the public. In my budget speech 4 months ago, a tax on cinemas was clearly mentioned. So it is not as if it is brought forward without due consideration of the industry and the capacity of the cinema owners to pay the tax. Secondly, I would like to point out that no member has proved how the cinema industry will not be able to pay this tax. Whether the cinema proprietor is in a position to pay this tax or not is the relevant point that has to be considered, and no speech was made to prove that he was not in a position to pay this tax. Thirdly, one honorable member said that a deficit of rupees 4 crores was not a very great matter for a state like ours. But I may tell him that if this deficit is to occur in only 1 year, then perhaps the financial stability of the state may not be affected. But when it is going to be a recurring deficit, then we must take steps to cover the deficit. As there will be a recurring deficit, it is only right that we should impose this tax now when there is inflation in this country, so that people may not grudge paying it. Of course, where there is depression, no government will think of imposing any tax. Fourthly, there is a difference between what was done last time when we enhanced the entertainment tax and this time, because this has nothing to do with the entertainment tax at all. Last time when the entertainment tax was increased, we said that a certain percentage of the cost of the ticket should be handed over to the government. So the cinema proprietors put up the price of the ticket and thus passed on the tax to the cinema goers. But now this has nothing to do with the tickets. The cinema proprietors to show me that they will not be in a position to pay this tax. It is said always that the rich man should be taxed and that the poor man should be left out. Here, my proposal is to tax only the proprietors of the cinema theatres who are rich people. So, the poor man is not touched. But yet, there is a lot of opposition to this bill. It is unfortunate that this is so because the position is not clearly understood by many. This tax has nothing to do with the cinema goers or with the cinema tickets. It is the cinema proprietors who have to pay this tax out of their margin of profit. Lastly, the objection of certain honorable members was that the municipalities should be given a share in this tax. The main purpose of this bill is to cover the budget deficit. So, it is not possible to share it with anybody. It has to be taken entirely for state purposes for the time being till our financial position improves. So, I request that the motion be passed.